side of Chiron, we have Zoe Lee Sin, Shellfolk Ezreal, Darkness, and Chekhov coming in with the Vandal Pirates, the Draven Scion, and that Teemo Swain that we saw a little bit earlier on.
Which, if I remember correctly, didn't do too hot.
Very poorly.
Yeah, curious to see how it does.
And clarified that he is memeing it up. This is not, I believe in the power of my Teemo Swain here. And Draven Scion actually going unbanned, which, you know, a little surprising.
All right. Getting into game 1 of round 6 here. The winner definitely gets in the top cut from what I can see. The loser might have a chance based on tiebreakers, so it's going to be.
We will have less than 8 X and 1s, so every X and 1 is going to make it in. Usually it ends up being about 2 or 3 X and 2s.
All right.
And, yeah, it's a little feel bad. It's out of your control. It's all down to tiebreakers, but that is what it is.
Not the first time it's happened. Not the first time. Very curious. What am I, though? Like we mentioned, losing the first round. Curious to see if he's able to get in or not. And for this, we get Chiron and DrChekhov. So, getting started here with Draven Scion. It's funny. Every time I see Noxus and PNZ, even though we've been in Draven Scion meta for like a while now, I still want to default to Draven Ezreal. Like, that's still, like, I pause for like a slight millisecond before I say Scion because I want to say Ezreal, then I say Scion.
See, it's funny because my brain still defaults it to burn.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Even when we, sat on Draven Ezreal for a year, my brain still saw that and went, burn.
Burn. Yeah, I mean, in that defense, I mean, they are the
here
burn
comes
regions.
Teemo Draven.
Yeah, right. So, get a time trick off the top here. And no Shellfolk in hand yet. Do have the Vi.
Is that Ezreal? Is that the Battle Academia?
That's the Battle Academia Ezreal. Yep, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting used to some of these new skins, man. Thresh really set me off earlier. I had zero idea that was Thresh.
It's weird. Where like you got it as a caster, you have to keep up on the skins, otherwise you waste them. You're like, in God's name is that?
Oh yeah. And listen, not for nothing, and this is probably the deck where it would matter. I have yet to see this 2 health be an issue with Draven. Like I haven't even seen it getting picked off by like a Mystic Shot or anything yet, right?
Well, we haven't seen a Draven. It's one of those things where it probably matters a lot more on ladder, where you're running into more Draven Scion mirrors. Period. End of sentence.
That's it.
In this matchup, it like doesn't matter. I mean, it'll matter for the Ezreal. Because Ezreal, of course, can generate a Mystic Shot and pick this off. I was going to say Sunpork Fumes doesn't really matter because you can pretty easily proc it up to the 3. Okay, we can either give... Yeah, we're just going to make this Daring Poro totally useless. -1 power, cannot block. Means it's just a 0-1. It's just discard fodder. Why are you allowed to do that to my Daring Poro?
Well, there's one Daring Poro hitting the field.
Like, give it -1 power. I don't care. Why can't it block?
And, I mean, so far, I got to say, I mean, DrChekhov does seem to be in the driver's seat. I mean, we aren't quite at a turn yet where Vi can come down. I think that might be a little bit of a turning point for Chiron here. Also have the Aloof Travelers, which I imagine we're going to wait to play Aloof until we get closer to turn 7. You know, one of the things you like to do with that card, which is why it's still so good, is wait to a pivotal later turn in the game where you know your opponent's looking to play a specific card, a specific power card, and then discard it right before they're about to play it. And it's one of the reasons why Aloof Travelers has been so great, especially versus Draven Scion.
Yeah, and what's really cool about Aloof is that if you're like, so you know your opponent has Lost Souls because you got a chance to prank it. If DrChekhov ever discards that Lost Souls, you can actually hit him with the Travelers at that point and potentially discard the Twin Blade Revenant and just solve your Lost Souls problem entirely. Okay, here we're seeing it come up where, like, yes, Draven has 2 HP, but, like, we also could have time tricked to get it up to 3 damage.
Yeah.
Which, like, does matter here, because now we have the opportunity to play Vi or Aloof Travelers without needing to use that time trick to kill the Draven. So, like, we have seen it be relevant now.
All right, it's happening. It's a thing. Sump Fumes is killing Draven. We can verify this nerf has done something to the power of Draven. I don't know. It still feels good, though. I mean, look, we have 2 spinning axes in hand, so you can't really be mad at that. I honestly
there
still
was
love this card.
There was actually a player that we saw earlier that I wanted to call out as their third deck. I don't think we got to see it. I think it was either banned or they got 2 out on a different deck. But somebody did bring Ezreal Caitlyn Tribeam.
Oh, okay. Ezreal Caitlyn Tribeam. Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and of course, your opponent discards the Lost Soul just to draw another one. So
yeah, that feels bad. Yeah, and again, I mean, I don't know if I would have played. And you know what? That's another great thing about Lost Soul, I got to say, right? So to my point earlier,
Precious Pet come from?
Actually, that's a good question. Is that main deck?
I'll check it. I missed that
Some
one.
people do.
Yeah,
listen,
Precious Pet
listen. Twin Blade Revenant is fearsome now, so there's something to be said about tilting the deck towards fearsome a little bit. But I want to go back to the Aloof Traveler's point, right? Because now we have Scion in hand too. Yep. There's something really neat about this deck where what I said about Aloof Travelers is true, but Lost Soul is very neatly an 8-cost unit. And if you have Lost Soul in hand with Scion, it also protects your Scion from something like Aloof Traveler. So this deck is also built to succeed in a way, with that being said. So now we have 2 more Aloof Travelers in hand, so this Scion is not long for the world. We can play it at the beginning of our turn when DrChekhov starts the turn, but I don't know if that's what we're going to see here.
I mean, Chekhov might just start off the turn with the Scion, right?
Maybe, yeah.
You never get to aloof it. It's funny enough, speaking of Aloof Travelers into Draven Scion, when I was writing up the recap for the Beyond the Bandlewood seasonal and what we saw through Swiss, Scion on 7 was played like once, and Captain Pharaon on 8 was played like 9 times. Like, the deck was just no longer a Scion deck. It was like that one of Farron. And people have been talking about that one of Farron for a while, right? And they're like, hey, you know, it's this additional thing that protects your Scion from Aloof Travelers, but it's also like this great finisher in its own right.
Oh my god.
Oh boy, yeah, that's exactly what you want to see if you're Chiron. Get that mini morph, get that Scion off the field. And I mean, Chekhov's still got a lot of draw, but does not immediately have another Scion available.
Yeah,
it is also going to be a level up on the Vi.
I do agree with you, right? I mean, Captain Farron has aged pretty well.
Actually, is this going to be an axe to kill the Vi? It's like
it could even be a Mystic Shot too.
You could just Mystic Shot it after, but
I think the Mystic Shot's probably the way to go.
Yeah,
here.
because you have Zonite and some treasure in hand.
Oh, wait.
You want to be discarding that axe.
Wait, you can't because of the level up. So
what?
You can't Mystic Shot Vi because now she's leveled up with Tough.
Oh yeah.
So
probably should have used the axe then, huh?
Yeah, probably should have used the axe. I mean, there is something to be said. You know, you need discard targets. You have a lot of discard cards right now with no fodder other than the axe, so maybe that's the consideration. We have the survival skills technically too, but it's not great. That's more of a proactive card, if anything.
Yeah, and you kind of wanted to survival skill. Like, you didn't know which Twin Blade Revenant was actually going to get hit by the survival skills because it does get discarded before the axe effect is applied.
Yeah, and it stinks too because when that attack had happened, Lost Soul was not in the hand, right? So
yeah,
like you can't. It's like just short of being able to do what you want to do. So I think it might have been
also
the right play.
A matter of like how much do you actually care about this 5 damage?
Yeah,
you could use the Mystic Shot now if you want to, or after the combat resolves,
or the axe now. Now we could use the axe.
Or the axe, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now at least we can discard something like Lost Soul, and we're still in a pretty good spot now.
And then get a Aloof Traveler.
Yeah,
which would hit your survival skills actually,
which is not bad.
Kind of funny, but like useless.
Yeah. Yep, there it is. And we are going to get rid of the Lost Soul, get Twin Blade Revenant back into the hand. And now we got 2 Twin Blades going too.
Cost us 5 health though to use the axe on this Precious Pet rather than our Twin Blade Revenant. And I'm not sure if it was worth it.
Oh, we'll see. We got a Mystic Shot thanks to the Ezreal as well, so that can pick off the mini Manatee here. Also work Ezreal towards as level up. I almost I did a double take, like Ezreal was already leveled there because of the different picture.
That is the biggest thing where like, especially with the skins, I don't know which side's level 2.
Yeah.
Which one's level 1. Like when I saw Zed earlier, I was like, I don't know what we're at here.
I will say I'm still sticking with it. Zed, Darkstar Zed by far still best level up animation. By far. Amazing. Love it.
I don't disagree. I'd have to look at level ups again. I actually no, I do disagree. I still think Scion has the best.
I was just gonna say Boulevard's thought process there was like, wait a second, I can't publicly agree with JDoza.
Agree with Doza on anything? I still think Scion's the best. That one is so good.
Scion's is pretty good too. Yeah, Scion's is good. But Scions is free, so by nature of paying for Darkstar Zed, like Zed just has to be better, right? Because you paid for it.
Yeah, look at your dumbass paying $12 for a level
I didn't.
animation.
Well, I didn't say I paid for it. I just said I like the animation. I didn't pay for it. I'm the guy who's had League of Legends downloaded since like 2008, and I've literally spent like $10 on the game.
My friend actually messaged me, I think 2 days ago, out of the blue, and she was like, just random question, how much have you spent on League of Legends? I'm like, rough estimate, 1,500.
Oh my god. That's insane.
So, I have this philosophy where if I'm going to buy a video game, I want to get an hour for every dollar I spent. So, like, if I'm going to buy a $60 game, I want to get 60 hours out of it, which, like,
I mean, that's good value.
Most games are not going to give you. And I'll make exceptions for things that I really want to play, like Last of Us 2. Bought it for $60. No way I was going to get 60 hours out of that game, but, like, I like that series enough that, like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I've probably put 3,000 plus hours into League of Legends. So the fact that I've spent $1,500 on it over 10 years means nothing to me.
And it's so crazy. It's League of Legends, the game you sink hours to that you don't know why you sink hours into it.
Oh, I find it fun. I find League of Legends extremely fun. I will not play it by myself.
Yeah,
it's not as fun, but like if my friends are
with
playing, like
Yep.
That's all I did in college was get my friends into League of Legends and play 5 stacks every week.
All right, so Concologist is going to be blocking Legionnaire here. We got the mini morph onto
second mini morph
Scion again. That feels so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, not for nothing. Even though 2 Scions have been mini morphed, Chekhov doing a really good job of still continuing to push damage, largely in part because of, well, who would have guessed it, Twin Blade Revenant. These things have stuck around all damn game, and they just continue to push more and more damage to the point where Chiron is thinking, do I need to block with this Ezreal, which feels really bad. So this is rough stuff for Chiron here. And this is still 7 damage, so we're 6 away from lethal. We have 2 with the Mystic Shot in the hand of Chekhov here. And not for nothing, we have an Arachnoid Sentry that could play a role in closing out the game for lethal on Chekhov's next attack turn. But leveled Ezreal, there's that picture. Now we know what it looks like for level 2 of Battle Academia Ezreal. And we'll see if
change directions.
These target, yeah, basically, right. Basically, yeah. And now he's like more.
Look at this full picture.
He's more of like a pink and purple hue now.
It's so weird. When I right click the Ezreal, like the base form and Ezreal's Mystic Shot are like blacked out, but the other 2 are in color.
It's weird.
It's kind of weird.
So this is putting Chekhov in an interesting spot now, though. I mean, there's a lot of damage potentially that's going to come from Chiron here. Do we actually have enough? That's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're too short of lethal right now, depending on what we get. We could just get another Otter Puss. That's a chump blocker too. Yeah, that's going to be real good.
Yeah, that's also going to give us another prank.
Yeah.
I don't know if you calculated that
off.
in.
We're 1 off, I think.
1 off?
There's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep.
I mean, Chekhov probably putting out lethal next turn as well with these Risen Riders, has the chance to like draw a burn of their own.
But it's
as
combat.
Well.
So Chiron literally just needs to draw 1 spell. And honestly, because of that, I think we played Aloof Travelers this turn. We play the Mystic Shot, we played Aloof Travelers, we draw another card. I think we're golden. There's a rummage. Just go. Oh, there's the prank. Oh, and the Mystic Shot could potentially be more here, which it's almost always the Mystic Shot, right?
Looks like we actually picked the...
Oh my god, rider. Wow. That never happens. There's Loping Telescope could be another spell as well, so I think we actually might go with that since everything else is fast speed.
Yeah, we got to play the Telescope. We got to play out the ephemeral Mystic Shot, so to speak.
Excuse me, it's fleeting.
Term, you know what I mean.
Same thing. I knew what you meant. That's what matters.
Are you sure? We have enough.
We need one more. No, right, we need one more.
Yeah, we just need one more. So it comes down to the Loping Telescope, which I don't think Loping Telescope does it unless we get Moonsilver.
Oh yeah, Crescent Strike not gonna do it, but we still are gonna grab it.
Even if we hit like Equinox or Moonglow, our last 2 mana for the turn has to be this Mystic Shot, and Chekhov is probably looking to end the game on the open attack.
Yeah, so we just have to go face and pray that we get a spell off the top here. It's all we can do.
Yeah, which is likely. It's very likely.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But Chekhov Horokan not going to do it.
Oh, Curious
Curious
Shellfolk.
Shellfolk.
A little too late.
And there's no way Chiron can survive, right? The Scion is the final nail in the coffin. Maybe if there was no Scion, if it was a different
unit. Or if
unit,
they didn't open attack.
But it is a Scion, and that does mean that DrChekhov is going to pick up game number 1.
So close here. You know, and I do think Chiron was right in going for it. We even had a couple ways, the Aloof Travelers and the... See, now the thought... Did we have enough mana to play both Aloof Travelers and the Mystic Shot? I think we did at one point.
Yes, but not if we played the Otterpuss stuff.
Oh yeah, not if the prank. We wouldn't have been able to play the prank. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Which, I don't know. I mean, maybe that was actually the correct way to go, getting one more draw deep instead of getting the 1 damage. Because the spells you drew were probably likely to target, right? So that maybe that's the thought process. Because, I mean, you have...
I don't know the ratios here. Let me check real quick.
I think most of them target.
I mean, you got what? 3 Sum Fumes, 3 Pokés. I think like every spell targets outside of
So that was probably the way to go because you want to go in intervals of 2 and not 1, which is what
roughly
Prank does.
Half your spells target. But I think a fair amount of your targeted spells were already gone.
Yep. You could be right about that too.
It's a low percentage point. We're not going to focus on it too much, but it does mean that we're going to be getting the Teemo Swain up against the Shellfolk to round things out. Not Glorious Evolution Shellfolk, but Shellfolk nonetheless.
All right, get the mulligans up here. 2 Mystic Shot for Chiron to start things off. Alongside Vi. Vi early on, I think, is pretty good here as well. And keeping the Lecturing Yordle and the Teemo. That looks like a really good hand for Chekhov as well.
Yeah, no actual answer for the Teemo on turn 1. No Thermo, no Elusive Blocker, 5 Shrooms, straight away into the deck of Chiron. And we got a nice little curve. You know, we got the Lopings. Those are going to be able to turn on this Hidden Pathways extremely quickly.
Oh, this threatening Otterpuss. I love the, you know, at first I feel like a lot of people thought that Otterpuss and all the pranks and stuff were just going to be really broken, but it turns out, I mean, they're good for what they do, but I really like the card design. I don't think they're bad at all. I do think they should have a little bit more of a decrease in the unit stats because it's usually a no-brainer to just go with spells, but I like it nonetheless.
It'd be kind of cool if they could specify onto certain spells, for example, like damage-based spells like deal 1 less damage or something.
Yeah, like mix it up a little bit, yeah.
That also sounds like probably more broken than upping the cost.
Possibly.
Because, like, I'll pay 4 mana for my Mystic Shot. I will probably not play my 1 damage Mystic Shot.
Yeah, really? You think so? I mean, yeah, I guess. 2 mana for 1 damage for it. I mean, it's the same ratio when it comes down to it, really.
Yeah, it's just like, it really upsets Burn in that situation where it's like, oh, not only did I play a 1/1 blocker on one that has a tune, but also now your Decimate only deals 3 damage.
All right, we are proactively playing Pokestick here because we really don't have much else that we can do.
Yeah, just kind of got to get that Shellfolk online. There's not a clean answer out of Chekhov for that unit, so if we can get that down, start predicting and pranking and manifesting and invoking. Well, there's no invoke, but
this free open attack might be pretty juicy for Chekhov too. You get the free poison dart, you get the 3 damage to go face as well before any development comes down. All right, we're gonna go with
Conchologist is not what I expected. I could have seen second Lecturing Yordle. I could have seen Swain. I was not expecting Conch. Oh, but that is going to be a Sharpened Resolve.
Oh yeah, that's a big old buff.
Spell.
Yep. Wow. All right, and this is not a great chump blocker for the Yordle. I mean, we're going to get a lot of poison darts throughout this game. So Yordle just sticking around. Maybe we kill it with Sump Fumes at some point. Maybe that's the thought here, chump blocking with the Otterpuss.
We might even just kill it now with the Sump Fumes.
Yeah.
Because we really don't have much else to do with our mana this turn. Minimorph probably going to have its eyes set on Swain or Leviathan.
Go.
So yeah, I mean, we're just kind of in a waiting room where Chiron needs to pick up on a proactive way to start to win the game, which even Ezreal probably wouldn't do it. I think it does specifically have to be the Curious Shellfolk, because Vi is okay. You know, we'll do a little bit of cleaning up, but ultimately we'll just probably die to Ravenous Flock as soon as it interacts with a unit.
All right, finally get the Vi down. Probably going to be able to get a hit in for 10 this turn, and actually pretty early on level the Vi here. Is that a... Wait, is that the main deck, Event Horizon, that we were talking about earlier too?
Yeah.
Jesus. I don't get it.
The Vi here actually will die to the Sharpened Resolve.
Yeah.
If it attacks the Conchologist. Yeah, it's just going to go for the hit onto the Loping Telescope. Sharpened Resolve going to come out, set it up for the Ravenous Flock.
Yep. It will at least level, which is notable. You know, this is future Vi's coming down will be pre-leveled, which is nice.
Because if you open with Vi and that Vi dies without leveling, it can be very difficult to level the second Vi that you draw, because you're going to draw it later on in the game. It's going to come into your hand at 2 attack. You need to play 8 cards after that Vi has been in your hand. So like, Chiron is really low on cards. Needs specifically Curious Shellfolk to get them back in. Maybe Hidden Pathways or something. Draw a little bit, but I don't even think this deck plays Hidden Pathways. I think it gets its draws elsewhere.
You talking about Chiron?
No Hidden Pathways, getting Time Tricks instead, really relying on the Shellfolk to do its job, the Aloof Travelers, things like that. Aloof wouldn't even be bad.
Oh, Poison Dart.
When we talked about the death of TF Swain, a lot of it was cited at Aloof Travelers and Minimorph. Just like, you can never hang on to a Leviathan, you can never establish the lock.
Yeah, but see, I think that's a cop-out, though, because Scion, it has the same exact weakness, but it's doing perfectly fine.
But
Minimorph, like, is supposedly so good against Scion, right? Aloof Travelers, good because it can discard Scion. Well, Aloof not as good, but still discarding it on turn 7.
But I mean, like, there is nothing to protect Leviathan from Aloof Travelers.
No,
I mean, it's a fallacy that players have been falling into since the release, right? We're like, oh, Minimorph is broken, so Lee Sin is unplayable, and then all of a sudden Lee Sin's the best deck in the game again because everybody thinks it's unplayable.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's Minimorph and Aloof Travelers' fault that Leviathan Swain's bad. I think it's a culmination.
You think it just sucks anyway?
Well, yeah, basically, yes.
Ooh, we might get a Shellfolk from Chekhov here.
Charger, Bomber Twins. I mean, I think Shellfolk probably makes sense. Might as well grab it.
Shellfolk makes no sense. You never take the Shellfolk. You don't have anything to take advantage of.
Never. I mean, hey, you never know. Actually, Is there actually nothing in the deck? I looked at my
own deck and realized that Conchologist and Loping Telescope are the only things that let me utilize Shellfolk.
And we already have 2 on field.
Yeah, like
they already got played.
I don't have any of them in hand. It's probably better to just go for literally anything else. And you can see Chiron here really struggling with the fact that they don't have Shellfolk. Every card that you play that gives you 3 randomly selected options just feels worse. And you need to maintain some of them for when the Shellfolk comes down. Otherwise, it's not going to get you out of the situation, right? If you've already played all of the resources. Like, Shellfolk's a tank, and you need gas to put in it.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues with this deck. You know, this is what we're seeing here. It's starting to run out of steam a little bit. It's starting to run out of gas, like you mentioned, Boulevard. And, you know, we're at the situation where we actually can't really play anything. I mean, we can play the Minimorph, right? So if some sort of threat comes down, we have the Minimorph. So if Leviathan comes down, great, we can Minimorph it. But other than that, the rest of the cards we really want to hang on to. Namely the Trinket Trade and the Prank. Sure, we can remove something with the Mystic Shot and the Poison Dart. Poison Dart actually really good here versus something like the Charger, so that's actually going to do a lot of work. But, yeah, we need Shellfolk. This is 2 games in a row, too. We haven't found it. Or we found it last game, but it was the last card we drew.
Yeah.
So.
And Chekhov really can't do much here, because if you play the Leviathan, it doesn't even get Minimorph. It just gets killed by the Vi. And not even, like, trades with the Vi. It gets killed by the Vi. So Chiron actually going to go for the attack here and say, I need to push a little bit of damage. I don't have Shellfolk. I don't know when it's coming. I need to try and play towards this Vi win condition if I can. And going to knock the Nexus down to 14. This does give Chekhov the window for the Swain. I'm going to play that out, see if there's a Teemo follow-up. And we're going to prank.
Well, I'm surprised that we're going with the Prank here. We actually went for on the Leviathan as well.
Yeah.
And
scouting out the hand a little bit.
Poison Dart going to take care of the Charger. So this game is definitely not over, but man, it just feels so bad when this doesn't draw Shellfolk. And I think, you know, you were mentioning earlier when we first started this tournament, Shellfolk might be a deck to be on the lookout for. And, you know, it's obviously been around for a little bit. But in my experience, when I've seen this deck play, this is exactly what happens a lot of the time. If you don't draw Shellfolk, this deck doesn't really have that great of a win condition. Vi might get you there sometimes, but generally speaking, your opponent's going to have a way to deal with Vi, and we will eventually see her get taken care of here, especially with that flock off the top.
And that's why players have started to gravitate towards that glorious evolution. It's just another win condition where you can go wide with like Poro cannons, and you're manifesting all these cards, and everything has augment, and you just kind of get a little weenie board of dudes that are suddenly really, really big. Ooh. And I just kind of profit from there. So
this
now
might
we've
be
got
game.
Minimorph
4, 5, 6,
and
7, 8, 9. This might be game. Oh no, we have an autocross. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
That was game on the. Oh wait.
We have Minimorph and Thermobeam, so like I was trying to see if we could Minimorph something and Thermobeam something else, and the answer was pretty much no.
Okay.
Didn't have quite that much mana.
I think you wanna. Okay, I was gonna say, do you Thermo? I guess yeah, Thermobeam. I don't know. Swain's not leveled. Do you Thermobeam the Swain or the Leviathan here? I mean, Leviathan can't block, so there's that. Maybe you're going for lethal, I guess, but. I guess if you're going for lethal, I mean, this means you can't block the 2/1. I mean, is there a world where Chiron has lethal next turn? Because of this True Shot Barrage?
I mean, I think a lethal for Chiron here starts with Ezreal. Oh, look, Ezreal.
Oh, there's an Ezreal.
How convenient.
Wait, hold on. Wait, is Ezreal level?
Yes. But
we could actually True Shot Barrage. Okay, wait.
If there's no lethal this turn,
Chekhov wins.
Has it.
So,
and I want to say that there's no way that Chiron has it through Event Horizon.
Yeah, good point. As long as we keep that 5 mana up, so they passed.
I don't think there's a universe where Chiron wins this because Event Horizon comes out here. What do you do with the remaining 5 mana? You play a Lecturing Yordle, you ping the Nexus, and unless that Lecturing Yordle gets mini-morphed, then you get to attack and ping the Nexus again, and it can't get mini-morphed because Leviathan is threatening to end the game next turn.
And here we go. We get the Event Horizon here. Yeah. Yep. So Leviathan is, I believe, going to be able to close things out unless this mini-morph comes down. Wow. I can't believe we talked about this Event Horizon being main decked earlier, and this Event Horizon is actually like just straight up saving the game.
The reason. The Shellfolk tech. You're like, yeah, it stuns by the Shellfolk deck.
I guess.
Here comes the Yordle. That's going to ping the Nexus. You have to mini-morph Leviathan.
And then hope you don't draw a Shroom.
Finishes off the game with the Poison Dart on the following turn. Or, hell, I'll even just run out another Leviathan. You've only got 1 card. There's no way that Chekhov has to worry about this Ezreal win condition.
Yeah.
Sort of killing them off. And it looks like DrChekhov is going to secure their spot in the top 8 of Online League Series number 33.
Oh, there's the Shroom victory off the top.
Off the top. What more can we ask for here in the last round of the OLS? That is our moniker. That is our hallmark. That is what we like to see. Shrooms for lethal. JDoza, I know you love that. Special place in your heart.
Oh, I love Shroom lethal.